thanks everyone. And yes, my session is right before lunch, so please give me all the energy right before lunch. Cool, so we'll be talking about how to know and measure exactly what your users need from your website content. So typically, the website is the middle of all of the other marketing or comms material. So right now, you've just spoken about social media. How do you drive people from social media all the way over to a website? And typically, it ends up with a link, whether you work in comms or PR. It's all geared towards how to get people back to a website. So that's why I'm speaking about website content today. So one thing that I've learned from some of our clients, including the Finnish Institute of Health and Welfare, is some metrics actually hide the truth. So they had high traffic, ranking #1 on Google, really great numbers. However, after installing Askem, they found out that 76% of people did not find what they were looking for. Essentially, this means that the messaging was just not resonating with the majority of people landing on their website. So here's the numbers behind that. So if you look over here, 23,000 visitors. This is looking pretty good. Like the left-hand side looks pretty great for the nutrition guidelines page on their website. However, the real results here over on the right is the sentiment behind the users were just not there. They were not finding what they were looking for. They quickly skimmed it. The engagement wasn't there. The just customer experience wasn't there. So one of the pieces of feedback that one of the users that had left on the page for the nutrition guidelines was that they just didn't find any information about vegan or vegetarian diets. So this is one thing that they had learned, that the real result sometimes isn't corresponding with the actual traffic that they're getting in, which is typically used in board meetings and internal stakeholder meetings when you speak about traffic. So how do we find out exactly what the users need? I wanted to speak about a case study from Action for Children. So they came to us and they had 2 goals in mind. Their first goal was actually, let's improve customer experience. Let's make sure that the parents find exactly what they're looking for. They have the best engagement. They recognize us. They have us as a legacy charity. The second goal was actually more fundamental, which was a lot of the parents are asking questions in our chat box that typically the content would be able to answer. So how do we then reduce the amount of chats with these parents and actually answer their queries within the content itself? So let's look at Action for Children's dashboard within React and Share, which is we've rebranded to Askem. So one thing over here that I want to show was the viewers. So here on the left-hand side with the title, we're able to see all of their specific pages. So they're able to see every single page on the Action for Children website, the amount of viewers, the amount of yes or no if people have found what they're looking for, and therefore the ratio between yes or no is calculated into CSAT. I was speaking to someone earlier here today actually who mentioned that NPM scores are used, but we actually use customer satisfaction, which is the ratio between how many people say no versus yes. Then they also look at the shares and the feedback coming, but also the conversions. Conversions, we're actually able to show Action for Children exactly how many people, when they press no, I haven't found what I'm looking for, have then clicked onto the call to action, which is the chat box. So they're able to then work in a very more strategic way as to reduce that call to action. The call to action could then be completely specific. It could be driving them to a donations page, it could be signing up page, but ultimately you can see on a page specific level exactly where they're going towards. So let's now order this by CSAT score. So now we're ordered it by CSAT score, which is essentially, now these are the lowest ranking pages on the website. This are the pages that are getting the lowest customer satisfaction score. So here we're able to see the low-hanging fruit that we could improve on their website. Let's now delve into one of their pages on their website, which is, what can I do if my child won't sleep? Here we're able to see a deeper dive into that one specific page. So let's say they want to do a PR campaign around this page or push this on social. We're now able to see a deep dive into this page specifically. So here we're able to see the viewers, which I had mentioned typically looks great if you show this to like internal stakeholders. But here we're actually seeing the same thing that the CSAT is saying. They're skimming quickly, that the messaging is just not sitting with these people. So if we scroll down, we're able to pair up this quantified metrics with the feedback. If this goes, there we go. Now we're able to see the feedback that is actually left by the parents who've searched for this question on Google, who've landed on this page and left these pieces of feedback. Any parents here will know getting their child to sleep is a feat. Good on you, I'm not a parent. But here we're able to see like the disparity between people who are looking for information with a 20-month-old versus people who are looking for information with an 8-year-old. How can this one piece of content be able to satisfy the parent who's looking to put their 8-year-old to sleep versus a 20-month-old? Without this valid information from the users who are searching for your queries on Google, they're actually leaving it. This is the best place for their comms team to go. So this is the information that the Action for Children team use. They say that, and this is the one biggest thing that I've learned from all of our clients actually, they have fundamental data and measurements that they're actually able to show internally within their stakeholders and their boards. So no longer are they asking, why are you writing new content? Why are you updating content? Why are you even caring about the website? It's actually more around, here are the numbers, here are the gaps that we've been able to address, and here are the gaps how we're actually going to fill it. Another case study that I want to show was Barking and Dagenham Council. They came to us with another specific case, which was actually their number of customer calls were going up. So essentially they had content on their website which was driving a lot of people to ask the same questions. How do we pay our council tax? How, what are our recycling days, whatever the case may be. So they wanted a deep dive into how do we reduce the number of customer calls. And this is where digital comms actually can lead to saving a lot of costs for a council or an organization. So Louis, who's the lead content designer, was actually able to increase customer satisfaction score using our metrics by 40% and showcase this to internal stakeholders and the board, but also reduce customer costs. And there's going to be someone in Barking and Dagenham who knows what a cost costs the organization. And therefore, I think this is going to be like a huge win in terms of revenue saved. So they're also able to create new KPIs and redesign their content. So creating an internal strategy to always optimize, always improve their content and make sure that it never decays without them knowing it. Two more organizations that I wanted to bring up as case studies who actually don't have a cost-saving element is Community Trade Union. Their goal was, how do we make sure that our content is resonating with our current members, but also prospective members? We want to make sure that they find the information that they're looking for and make sure that they come to us as their trusted trade union. So they were able to actually say, you know what, I don't know everything that a person is looking for of all different types of organizations, but we're able to do so now. And another one was NHS Pennine Trust, Pennine Care, sorry. They were actually, and this was the best use case that I was just so excited about, was they were actually able to justify the comms and the digital comms worth within the organization, because sometimes they were like, people don't really understand why we're, like what we're doing and what comms is, and they kind of trivialized it. So actually, he went in with a game plan and showcased it, and I think he actually got a promotion off the back of it. Might not be because of our tool. I'm not going to say you're going to get a promotion, but you know what I'm saying. So the level of data is absolute gold dust for internal stakeholders now currently, and I expect a lot of you guys are here because you're demanded more data, more measurements. How do we ensure that our message is like resonating? But this is the kind of level of data that takes you from just speaking about, hey, we've got 1 million traffic on this certain page, our message landed, versus has it actually? And how do we actually showcase this versus another organization within our space? So yeah, just to bring it back, website content, take it seriously, please. If you want to chat to us, we're over there, and I'm more than happy because typically website content is seen as quite boring compared to like TikTok or whatever. But ultimately, everything that you're doing is coming back towards the website content. So this is why it's so important. Have a fab day.